Welcome, everybody, live worldwide to the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. As you've been seeing all day, we've been talking about and promoting this incredible episode celebrating the extraordinary Hollywood icon, the beloved television, film, and stage actress and legend, the one and only June Lockhart. God bless her. She made it to age 100, and she left us with so many incredible moments from her many years on stage and in movies and in television and some of your favorite series. It's wonderful to have you here. We invite you to share your memories as well. Hey, everybody, Jim Masters here, your host. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're here in the United States in the New York area, and we welcome you to share your June Lockhart memories. We put this together very, very quickly. You know, we are famous also for our tribute episodes. We did a fabulous episode recently on Robert Redford. We've done one celebrating Cindy Williams, Lisa Marie Presley, Bob Barker, and on. So many incredible people. And now we wanted to do one on somebody who's been a part of our lives for all of these decades, bringing great joy and great entertainment, the iconic June Lockhart. She will be missed. She's been with us again all these years. But boy, the body of work that she left has touched the generations in such a glorious way. We have assembled some very, very beautiful people who wanted to be here. When we reached out to them, we said, would you like to join us? We're doing something to really commemorate, to celebrate, to remember the life of incredible June Lockhart. So we have some special people. A couple of folks you're going to recognize from your TV screens, of course. You probably saw that in the promo, but they will be on in just a second. First, I just wanted to say that I've always admired June Lockhart. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to put this special together. But she also, in addition to the motherly side that we all saw and embraced and enjoyed on great series like Lassie and Lost in Space, she also loved rock and roll. And she also had a fun side and a relaxed side as well, which you might be surprised by as you're learning with the news reports lately. She was amazing, an American actress extraordinaire, beginning the film career in the 1930s and 40s in films such as A Christmas Carol, which was one of the classics. We remember that, the original as well. And that was something very, very special early on for June Lockhart. Started getting her wings prepared for a lot of flying she was going to do in the industry. Also films in the 40s too. Meet Me in St. Louis was another one, another classic. And again, she's been affiliated with so many extraordinary works of art. And we're going to talk about some of them as well with our illustrious guests that are here on the Jim Masters Show today. She also appeared primarily in 1950s and 60s television with performances on stage and film, two television series that we know and love so well. So many people grew up on Lassie. And there's a wonderful shot with one of our guests. No, Lassie couldn't be with us. Lassie is not available. However, Jon Provost is, who played Timmy Martin, the son of June Lockhart on Lassie. Yes, you may recall that he's been with us a couple of times. He's a dear friend of our show, and he's a terrific, gracious individual. And he's always embraced that character of Timmy. And of course, Lost in Space as well. We know, of course, Angela Cartwright, Billy Mooney, and everybody involved with Lost in Space. And June was the mom. She was Maureen Robinson in Lost in Space, which was another iconic series. I don't know about you guys, but I had the Lost in Space robot growing up. My sister had, and I told this to Kathy Garver before, my sister had the Mrs. Beasley doll from Family Affair. I had the Lost in Space robot. Wish I still had it today. It's probably worth a fortune. So we remember that series as well. That really reached TV fans of many, many generations. She also played Dr. Janet Craig on the CBS television sitcom Petticoat Junction as well. You may remember that. Petticoat Junction, another great series. Again, she was in our hearts and minds, whether it's television. She did a lot of TV commercials too. Gravy Train, Shake and Bake, Crest toothpaste. She did it all. And again, a real glorious soul, beautiful individual inside and out, a true iconic American treasure, and a hoot and holler too. A lot of fun off camera. The guests we have will tell you in grand style. She was a two-time Emmy Award nominee and a Tony winner too, with the career spanning 90 years, one of the last surviving actors from the golden age of Hollywood. Now, she was born in New York City in 1925, 100 years ago. We just lost her on Thursday. The daughter of Canadian-American actor June Lockhart, who came to prominence on Broadway in 1933, and English-born actress Kathleen Lockhart, and her grandfather, John Coast Lockhart, was a concert singer as well. She attended the Westlake School for Girls in Beverly Hills, California, and her parents, you know, they were rooting her on as she was going along in her life and her career. And again, she was performing really all the way up until her 80s and early 90s. And she was very gracious and she was very warm and she was always attentive to the fans. She knew what people thought about her and they loved her, as did I, as did you. So we wanted to take a moment really here live on the Jim Masters Show, Celebrity Talk Show series, to embrace and celebrate and remember somebody who we will never forget, the wonderful June Lockhart. I'm going to bring the guests on right now. You can post comments. We are live. We will archive this episode with the other 1,400 episodes and growing here on our series. And so you can watch it again. You can share it. But a couple of the amazing people that are joining us here are, as I mentioned, Jon Provost is here. Jon.
Hey, Jim.
Jon, it's so nice to see you here. And my deepest condolences. I know she was not only your TV mom, but she was a dear friend. She was a colleague. And somebody very, very special in your life. Also, another very, very wonderful friend of our show and a delight to always have, Kathy Garver from Family Affair and so many other things. What's amazing is I was in Valparaiso, Indiana on a television shoot for some of the professional work. And like a week later, she's in Valparaiso, Indiana on a movie. we should have timed that a little closer, huh?
I know it. And I had so much fun in Indiana. We were doing the Thing About Pickles movie. And,
that's right.
You know, strangely enough, because it's only like 40 minutes from Chicago, I thought, oh, I'm going to go to another city. It's so rural there.
Yes.
That was just such a big surprise. And corn stalks and farmers and little towns. And I thought, oh, what a difference. How nice though.
Absolutely. A delight to have you here. And we send you our love too. You know, many people know, and you've been open about it. Your husband had many years passed away recently. So we send you a warm Jim Masters Show lovey hug. We love you, Kathy Garver, to you and to your family from all of us here. A warm love, you know, and June, I know, was very dear and near to you as well. And somebody else joining us as well, who was a dear family friend of the Lockhart family and of June, and spokesperson for many years, also worked with the ABC television network, is Lyle Gregory. Lyle, this is your first time here on the show, hopefully not the last. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show, and it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here as well joining us.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure, Jim. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. And I know that, you know, you hopped on like 20 minutes before.
I've been doing live radio for 40 years. So we're always.
So you know how it works in the broadcast, right?
Last minute stuff. Punch it up, do. Millions of people are listening.
Riggs, right. I work in television radio professionally, so I know exactly what you mean. Sometimes it's just like, boom, you know, you just go with it. And somebody else who's a dear friend of all of ours and a dear friend of mine and one of the nicest guys on the planet. Yes. He truly is a Hollywood icon himself. He's one of the great publicists. He's worked with all of the legends, everybody. I've heard so many things, too, from the people I've talked to that just love him. We all love him. Harlan Boll is with us here from California as well and from Hollywood. Harlan, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, Harlan.
Hi, Harlan.
It's so great to have you here. And I know you're such a busy guy, and to even devote any time at all is just a true blessing. So we welcome you as well. And
thank you. I'm very much a behind the scenes person.
Right, he is. He's like pulls a lot of stuff together. He really is. John, I wanted to start with you first because you had that long relationship for all these years since the days of Lassie, and such a beloved series, and all the years with wonderful June. What are some of your wonderful fond memories of June Lockhart?
We worked together 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 9 months out of the year for 8 years. Well, actually for 7 years. And, June really, she was like my other mom. I mean, my mother would sometimes forget my birthday, but not June. I'd get that call on the birthday every year since I was a child. And we stayed in touch the entire time. Every Christmas, every birthday, we would exchange cards, phone calls. Whenever I was down in Southern California, I'd give her a ring and we'd talk and possibly get together. Get together. But yeah, June was great. And I learned a lot from June. I mean, I started young. I was not quite 3 in my first movie. But, June grew up in a theatrical family. And I didn't. My family, they were not show business people. But I can remember when she first started on the show, I was 8. And I was a little precocious. And I was kind of testing the waters with this new star on the show. And we were getting ready to film. And we were sitting at the kitchen table. And I started kicking her under the table. And so she moved her chair a little bit further away, but I scooted a little bit closer and kicked her again. Not hard, just, bugging her. And so finally she just said, excuse me, to the director, I need to talk to Jon. So she took me off set over in the corner and very nicely, but sternly, very motherly, said to me, she said, now listen, Jon. We are professionals. You are a young boy playing a young boy, but someday you will be an adult playing an adult. And she said, so I just want you to know that this is not a place for fun. This is a place that we are working. And so, yeah, she straightened me out that day. And June was, a lot of fond memories for sure.
What were some other funny moments you remember from the series, or moments that we might not have gotten a chance to see with June Lockhart? Because she really did have a heart of gold. And for you, that motherly way that she had, which was so automatic, was so great on set.
On set, I mean, well, for one thing, like whenever we would have a meal, it was always cold food. The food was always cold. It was out of a can, and it was not good. And sometimes I'd get to work early in the morning and would go over to the coffee and donuts. That was craft food back then. And June would take me aside. She goes, oh, no, this is not good for you to eat. And my mom's there too. And she's going, okay, yeah, but you did have breakfast at home. And June would say, she would call somebody over and send them out and get me some eggs or something like that. But yeah, it was just, the motherly. I mean, that is what June embraced. My first mother on Lassie was Cloris Leachman. And Cloris Leachman did not have that motherly quality, I guess you could say, that June had.
True. And then, of course, Cloris went on to other incredible things as well. And
she was great, but she did not want to be baking cookies for a boy and a dog for 6-7 years.
Yeah, that was, I mean, you have the love of Lassie, you have the love of June, you have the love of, and I love this of your photos. This is a terrific one from Christmas. Do you remember when this one was, Jon?
That's about 1962. We did a Christmas show every year. They were always great. And as of course, filming Christmas in LA in summer was not the most fun thing to do, with soap suds as snow, and when we were out on location. But and then again also offset. When we moved to Beverly Hills about my third year on the show, and we didn't have a swimming pool. Okay, June had a swimming pool, and she lived in Brentwood, and just a short drive away. And I would go over there on weekends and with her two daughters and Annie and June, and swim and have a barbecue and stuff. So it was, we were like family, and the whole show was that way. Everybody was warm and it came across.
It really did. We all loved watching it. And what's great about it is you can still see it on the nostalgic networks, all of it in reruns. People, of course, got VHSs, then DVDs and Blu-rays of all these kinds of series. But the nostalgic networks, the Antenna TVs, the MeTVs, all the rest, they love these shows and these series, bringing us back to a more wholesome time, an innocent time with all the craziness that's going on in our world.
Well, it's like, I'm sorry, Joe, it's like, your show, people are watching from all over the world. Lassie is still on in over 60 countries. I mean, I have a website, jonprovost.com, and I get, emails from all over the world. Who would have thought that people are still watching this black and white show 65 years later? It's amazing. And we didn't have a clue that, that people would be watching it and still interested.
That's what my next question was going to be. Did you have any idea? And of course, producers always hope, and the creators always hope it has that longevity. But you didn't. You just were doing your thing. You had no idea, right?
Yeah, and I think the reason that a lot of shows from that early time of television was that the producers, the writers, the directors, they cared about what they gave the public. Take Lassie, for instance, every show had a moral. I mean, Timmy wasn't the smartest tool in the shed. And if it hadn't been for Lassie, I probably wouldn't be here today. I would have, fallen down that well for sure. But Timmy always learned from his mistakes. And so, you learn something from watching the episodes. Same with Family Affair. All the shows, back then, My Three Sons, Leave It to Beaver, that's why they hold up today. I mean, there's a lot of shows on today that are, who's going to be watching them in 10 years? Probably not. But, that's just the way it was. It was a different time.
People couldn't even sing or hum to the theme songs when they had the theme songs and the underscoring music. And it was a big buildup to when these shows were on and you would hear Lassie, you would run to the TV. Absolutely. And one of the beautiful things I think we want to share too is not only were you close on the show, on the series, but you remained, some of your wonderful photos here, you remained friends through the years, which I think is a beautiful thing for the two of you, but also for viewers who hope that you had that, because it doesn't always happen in this industry where people stay together.
Oh, sure.
You stayed dear, wonderful friends.
We did. We stayed close. And then we got to work together again as an adult. When I was adult, this photo is from the new Lassie series, 89-90. And so, we got to work together again. And, it's an incredible legacy. Nobody's ever come up to me and said they hated Lassie. So.
I'm just thinking, you're right. How could they, right? Exactly. Kathy Garver, also another icon in the industry, beloved, and embraces the sissy character. And she's done so many amazing things. And again, we love having her on the show every time. Viewers always asking for her. And you've had an opportunity to not only appreciate June, but work with her too, because she was on an episode of Family Affair. She was in Death Valley Days. You got to work with her. And there was even a talk show too, right? Tell us, Kathy.
Well, it was interesting when I did Death Valley Days, because I was going to UCLA. I was, I think, 18 at the time. And I went out on this interview to play a 12-year-old. And I said, what? Mom, why am I going on this interview? It turned out to be a wonderful episode of Death Valley Days. And I played a character called Dorita Duncan, which was loosely based on Isadora Duncan.
Mhm.
And I twirl around, and June, I mean, you can just look at her and see her love and warmth. She played a librarian and also
Mhm.
a poet. And so she kind of took me under her wing because I was a waif in the little town and going around. So that's how we met. And we stayed friends for a long, long time. But that episode was used as a film, a part to hire me for Family Affair because I was 20 when I was supposed to play a 15-year-old. So they thought, well, if she's uh, 18 and can play a 12-year-old, I guess we'll hire her. So June was very instrumental in making that happen because we had such lovely scenes together and we had a great energy. She, as Jon said, was a very motherly kind of character, but she exuded this kind of warmth that I think that she put into all of her characters that she played. It was just this inherent giving and warmth that she had when she acted or in her life too. And she, as you say, also was in Family Affair with another very poignant story. And she was the substitute teacher. And Johnny Whitaker, who played Jody on the show, got a crush on her. And Uncle Bill was all concerned. Why does he spending so much time with this teacher and what is it and all of that? And then I come in at the end and I say, Uncle Bill, don't you see? And I showed him a picture of our mother. I said, she looks just like our mother. And
Mm,
that's why,
that's
you
right.
know,
I remember that.
and that's why he was so entranced with her. So that mystery was solved. But there you have June again, exuding this kind of warmth and protectiveness. And the talk show. So we did, this was in San Francisco, and fast forward, and I'm like 45, I think. And we're on a talk show together, and we're chatting and chatting. And all of a sudden, she looks over to me and she says, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" I went, "June." And it wasn't because I was that.
It's that motherly instinct.
It was that motherly instinct. I was indeed 3 months pregnant, and I hadn't told anybody about it. You know, you want to kind of wait. Here I was, 45, having my first baby, so I wanted to make sure that everything was okay. But she had this like inner kind of vibe and energy, and she could tell things about people. And not a Twilight Zone kind of thing. Oh, maybe that's why she was in Lost in Space. No, but she just did have that quality. So that quality of warmth, that quality of caring, and that just instant vibes with people, I think sustained her for such a very, very long career and successful career. And plus, she had time to do other things with dogs and politics and all of that. So she really was a lovely, lovely woman with a life well lived.
Did you look up to her at all as a mentor, as somebody who was a groundbreaker, a trendsetter? I mean, somebody who had done it so long, and even when she was on Death Valley Days or Family Affair, she had done so much already by that point. Did you see her also in that role as much as you saw her as a dear, longtime friend, Kathy?
I saw her really more like a friend. And I think the way that we connected was just an energy vibe rather than pigeonholing her or putting her in a particular place that she would have to be. She wasn't my mother. I had a fabulous mother, but she was a cohort. She was a peer. And I looked at her much more that way because I had been working myself since I was 3, and did 10 Commandments and Night of the Hunter and all those things. So when I even met Charlton Heston, and I think children sometimes they don't look at things like these are fabulous actors. I think it's more sensual. They say, is this person a nice person? how can I, relate to this person? And so in my life, I look at the people I didn't know, and especially at 6 or 7, this was a great big movie star. He was playing Moses, who was awesome enough, for a little girl. And June, she was this wonderful person that was kind and knew her lines, and we just got right in there and acted together, and she responded and I responded to her, and it was just a fabulous experience.
And she'll be greatly missed for sure. We got a lot of wonderful comments coming in live from the viewers as we're broadcasting live. Jim Masters here on the Jim Masters Show Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. Got amazing guests here: Kathy Garver, Jon Provost, and Harlan Boll is with us as well, and Lyle Gregory. And we're going to bring Lyle on in just a second. Spokesperson, family friend, radio, television, broadcast guy like myself and like all of us here. Appreciative of these amazing talents in this extraordinary industry that we're all in. Crazy industry, unpredictable, but extraordinary industry at the same time. There is a clip I have from when Angela Cartwright was on our show that I wanted to show. Of course, we talked about her entire career, Sound of Music, and so many other great things, Make Room for Daddy, Lost in Space, and everything. And we hope to have her back soon, as the Sound of Music is doing the 60th and so many other things she's working on. But on that episode, we had an opportunity to talk about the wonderful June Lockhart. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to share a little of that with Angela Cartwright, who played, of course, her daughter on Lost in Space. Billy Mooney, of course, too. We love him. Hope to have him on the show one day as well. But this was really special when Angela was talking like you guys are, having worked with her on television so gloriously. Some wonderful words about the iconic and the wonderful June Lockhart. Here is Angela Cartwright. In the hearts and minds of not just Americana, but really around the world, and working with the incredible cast. I mean, June Lockhart, America's mom on so many different levels, working with such a wonderful person. What was it like working with June Lockhart for you?
Well, June is, besides being extremely bright and a wordsmith.
Yeah.
She's got a little kind of curiosity part of her, and I loved that. I mean, she would come up with these little quirky things for us to do on the show where nobody really knew that we were doing them. But she was fun. She was a lot of fun. She really was. And she's still sparky to this day. So she doesn't go to conventions anymore, but she was lovely.
I got to say one thing. Angela said something there that sparked this memory. June was always in her spare time playing Scrabble. Yeah, with some of the other people on the set. I'm dyslexic, so I was no good at Scrabble. So, but anyway, June was an extremely intelligent woman, and got involved with the space program and was just so enthralled with that. So, great interview with Angela.
Thank you. She was very involved with NASA on significant levels as well. And NASA, I'm sure NASA's probably going to do something in her honor. I absolutely can see that happening. She loved space. She was very curious. Lyle, you, of course, knowing her for so many years, 40 plus years, tell us about how you first met June Lockhart and the relationship that you had with her as well.
Thank you. Well, at ABC Network, where I started in 1983, you guys remember on KOS, KABC, that they're on the British Michael Jackson talk radio show, which was the #1 show in the country, and everybody came on, everybody. And June and I met in the hallway. She was doing the morning show, and then we kind of locked heads. But then when the Clinton Gore administration started, that's when we really became, as June always says, pals. She loved saying we're pals. And we dated basically for 35 years after that. In the really G-rated way, right? But we did many events together. I'll NQ on NASA, and I'll dovetail with what Jon was saying on her culinary suggestions when he was in that commissary and say not donuts but eggs. So June always told me this because we shared many meals together. Washington, here at her house, all the Golden Mike Awards every year, and so we ate together all the time. And I was, she would be very motherly to me, but she said, "Darling, try this. Try eating salad with no dressing." So to this day, as I ate salad last night, every time I eat a salad, I think about that. And the other culinary spot that she said, she always told me, she said, Mama and Daddy, she said, Mommy and Daddy always taught me never be photographed with a drink in your hand. So let's dovetail to 2009, NASA. She called me. She said, "Are you going to Washington soon?" I said, "I need to be. Yeah, I got a thing at the White House I need to do." She said, "Can you rearrange it and go in with me for the week? NASA wants me to come in for the whole week to co-host because that was 2009, the 40th anniversary of the landing on the moon, and they knew that one of the three men, Neil, Buzz, or Michael, would not probably make it to the 50, and sure enough, they didn't. So." There was 4 days of just extraordinary things, and she was the star of everything. 4,000 people from NASA everywhere just applauding. And so the second night, before we got to 3,000 people at the Air and Space Museum, we're there with Neil, and the thrill of a lifetime for me. I've met a lot of people in this industry, but to meet Neil Armstrong and for her to say, "Neil, this is my dear friend Lyle Gregory," and he had a drink in his hand. So this is that cherished picture. If you can see it, I had to come. It's one of my cherished ones, and I thought, well, I'm going to sneak one too without her seeing it from the bar in the back, and we did, and then we went out to the other things. But what Angela was saying too about the intelligence, so all the way up until quite recently, she was reading the New York Times, the LA Times, and doing crossword puzzles. Mm-hmm. She was a towering intellectual. And I used to take her to the White House as my date all the time. We did so many of the NASA events and Mars landing. And one of the beautiful memories is going into JPL. I was with her at her side when she received the NASA Medal Award, 2013, I believe it was. But prior to that, we'd been there many times. And to walk into those press conferences, where Matt Gollenbeck and all these people, the Mars rover, they're there and the whole world's cameras on them. And June walks in, and even though the cameras are on them, you could see their attention. And I heard this over and over from these astronauts and these great scientists that would say, "Oh, we're so happy you're here. We're in this business because of you." And she already knew so many of them anyway, but that is, the mascot that she was for NASA and for astronauts and for science. And then we were together when the space shuttle was brought to our wonderful city of Angels. And we were together when it landed. We watched it land. And then she was part of the orchestration of that very historic event where we brought the space shuttle through South Central to its resting place at the Space Center. And then we did the first night there of fundraising. We raised $1 million in one night with her celebrity at that. Wow. So there's multiple stories, but above all, like Jon and Angela said, it's that motherly brilliance. I learned, like Jon said, I learned so much from her. We all did. Right? So the intelligence, she would correct you so lovingly. And I take that with me forever.
And there was something in her eyes and her smile. Wouldn't you say? She just, I know she sold shake and bake gravy train crests and everything else, but she could sell anything. She just had this wonderful, which was very, right.
With that velvet voice. May I cue on this for a second too? So we're both vocal people, right? And I do a lot of music recording and everything else. I live in the studio, but I asked her, this was about when she was about 69 or 70, we really started hanging out and gay dating, And I said, "Darling," I said, "your voice is as clear and velvet now at 70 as it was during it." She said this. She said, "Well, darling," she said, "Daddy and Mommy trained, but she said, when, she's an MGM girl too, right?
Right.
But she said, I made my mind up very early, and to take care of this voice, that when I became an old lady, I would not have this little old crackly voice. And she didn't. That voice was as clear as a bell up until her 100th birthday, and she flew off.
It really, really was. And somebody else, again, I mentioned, who loved June and represented her and did lots of PR for her and loved her. And he's a dear friend of our show and of all of you too, is the fine gentleman right there in his busy office. Believe me, his phones are ringing, the fax is going. He just has it all on mute right now. I wanted to grab this because I saw it was so beautiful that he put together, Harlan, of time with her, with June Lockhart, and all the things he put together here, which I thought was really beautiful. And he's been in the business a long time. Harlan, tell us about some of your wonderful memories of the iconic June Lockhart, my friend.
It's because so too many. I started thinking about it after we hung up. I was with Lyle when we were at JPL, and I remember that we were trying to find a good photo op, and I found, I didn't want a blank wall, and I found something. I said, look, over here in front of that thing. I said, that thing. And she very gently leaned over to me and said, you mean Voyager? She was, I arranged for her and 9 total of my clients to be inducted in the Smithsonian, their careers, her Tony Award. She was the very first Tony Award winner. First award that was ever handed out. It was a little charm. Women got charms and a golden bracelet, and the men got lighters. That was the first Tony, the Antoinette Perry Award. And it went into the Smithsonian. So we had a wonderful celebration with her that day, with all the others. It was Angela Lansbury, the 9, she called them she said I had put together the best Supreme Court. I had Angela Lansbury, Phyllis Diller, Esther Williams, Carol Channing, June, of course, Rosemarie, Phyllis Diller, Florence Henderson, Tippi Hedren, and Julie Newmar, all of them on stage together.
That is incredible. My God, huh?
So many stories that they shared between them.
You've worked with so many people, and you've worked in the industry all these years. What do you think it is about a June Lockhart that has resonated with people on such a deep level? Like in the beginning, when the word was getting out about June's passing, people were, because there's so much going on in our world, sometimes it can come and go and you don't even realize it until you see the end of the year, retrospectives. Wow, that one passed and I never heard about that one. But with June, it was like people paused and they're talking about it now and they're remembering her now and they're like in shock and the sadness because she's been with us all, 100 years.
June was part of the family.
Yeah.
Not the TV shows itself made her part of the family. Her years on General Hospital. So you had your daytime, you had your prime time, you had movies. She connected with them in every form of industry. Animation, she did voices so children would remember her from different things as opposed to adults carried her with them. She also had the most fantastic parents who trained her well. They were founders of SAG, so she's been around that long. One of my favorite moments is I found a check in her stuff for $2.50 from MGM in 1936, something like that, and I asked her what it was for, and she said that was her pay for a number of days on Christmas Carol. And I made a joke about it, and she said it's still more than all my residuals combined.
That's amazing. It's quite a story. John's laughing. That's quite.
I have a check for $1.
I have a check for a penny.
Right,
you do
there
a
you go.
penny.
Yes, I do.
Does it come in every month, the penny? Or?
She said,
I'm hoarding them now since they may be getting rid of them.
Right. I was going to say, how are you going to do it, right?
She said her father, that was her first check. She said they left the set and he took her right to SAG to sign her up.
Wow.
Using that check.
There was a bar in West Hollywood. and it was called the residual. And so all the actors would bring in their residual checks, and they would give them over to the bar, and they would get a drink. But the bar was then going broke because they got all these penny checks and $5 checks, and it says, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, they'll pay you. It's true.
Exactly right. She debuted on stage at the age of 8, which was amazing. Can you imagine that? And made the acting debut for Love or Money that brought out her parents out of the parents' shadow. Of course, the parents were very beloved and successful as well. And she gained her notice as a promising movie actress in her own right at that time as well. And then she sort of burst on Broadway as well, which was fantastic. I mean, she really did hit upon the arts in every level, right? Stage, television, film, Broadway, all of it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes when you were so multi-talented and you were doing so many things, like a lot of people won't see you on stage, or a lot of people might not recognize you if you're doing voiceover. And she, as I say, was so multi-talented that she wasn't just known for one thing that became her brand. She was known for multi things. So even me, when I was looking her up today, and I said, I cannot believe that she did all those things. You know, I know her from Death Valley days. I know her from Lassie and, you know, Lost in Space. But oh my gosh, she sustained a character, which I think is one of the biggest homages that you can give to someone in our business, to always be working, because nobody is always working. You do a job and then, well, where's my next job?
Yeah, she was also extremely supportive of community. A lot of charities. She did LGBTQ support. I mean, the list goes on and on. She had a really great heart for helping other people. She did literacy. She did cancer. She did just put herself out there to help as many, use her name as best she could to help as many people as possible.
And all the years.
And again, I think she also got that from her parents.
Yeah.
I think you all know how her parents met, right?
Tell us.
Her parents met. Thomas Alva Edison introduced them.
Exactly.
That's right. Wow. Thomas Edison.
Right, and it was electric, right?
It was the parents were he cast them as husband and wife in a World Fair back before television, so people would see them using his items and things like that. And he just said, "You look like you'd be a good couple." And so June always thought she was one of Thomas Alva Edison's best ideas.
Yes, exactly. His greatest light.
A great idea.
Yes, I think that's such a significant point, Harlan. I'm so glad you brought it. That and then when you think about it, that as I told her, years later, you're seeing that last scene in Meet Me in St. Louis is Judy Garland and their beaux, the four of them, with the light of Edison. And I'd say that to her. She said, "Darling, I never really think about it." On our way to your event, your Emmy event, Harlan, she is, I think,
Miami event. I love that.
The one out here, you know, we passed Marlboro High and all that stuff. Yeah. That beautiful event that you did. But I want to say this. She said this to me all the time. I quote it and want to get it around. She would often say, because we talk about politics, there was a period of 15 years where every night, we're both night monkeys. That phone, my landline, would ring between 11 and 12. I'm still live on the show every day with all the news makers in the world in our green room. Wanted to know how the show, and a lot of times she would listen. But we would talk. She wanted to know, the inside on the events, but we would just talk about it. I took her to the White House Correspondents' dinners and everything else. And news was her thing. And she would always say that acting is just something we had to do to make a living. She wanted to be, her love was journalism. Yeah. And I want to say this, and remember this always. She would say this, "Darling, don't you miss the 70s?"
The music, you can play the music and get right back. Did she ever write a book?
No.
It's been wonderful.
We talked about it, and there's enough material there to do it. And
I begged.
Yes, she was content not. Yeah. And there's enough pictorial in there. She made this. So you're in here, John, of course, a lot. She made this for me years ago. all of her photographs from the stuff, everything. And it's like 40, 50 photographs in here from the studios and all of it. And that's just part of it. The archives over there, including when you go into the condo, the Edison. Again, Harlan, that is just a significant thing. That's 100 years of American history.
You've got to write that, Lyle. You've got to write it for her. You know,
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you know,
homage and put all that information. It'd be a great book. Beer Man or Media would publish it, right, Harlan?
thank you. Well, it should be done, because how many, you know, especially, and we boomers, and you know, the public built NASA. She's part of that, and during that era, I'm 69 years old. Nothing. It's like you said earlier, sweetie. There's not. Nobody gets those. Millions of people were watching her every night. I mean, nobody gets those numbers anymore. But above all, that arc of 100 years. Your parents introduced by Thomas Edison. No. But thank you for saying that, man. Let's put that into the ether, right next to Jupiter too, where I'm sure she's flying right now.
You know, when you look at the body and scope of work, it is true. Like Harlan mentioned, General Hospital, and of course, Petticoat Junction, and of course, Kathy mentioned Death Valley Days too. But all the years she spent as hostess for the CBS broadcasts of the Miss USA pageant for 6 years, the Miss Universe pageant, working, of course, with Bob Barker, the Tournament of Roses parade for 8 years, the Thanksgiving parade.
One of her greatest moments, she said, was on the Rose Parade. She got to, 4 or 5 astronauts. She got on at the same time, and
unbelievable.
The other part of that, I'll cue off the astronaut. So her father, as you know, wrote "Wait for the Sunrise," that Edison put on the crank thing. You're talking about 1927 or something like that. And so that's her father. The astronauts called her from the space station, playing that several times. They would play her father's song that he had written as a young man, "Wait for the Sunrise," that Edison had made on the things and on those discs. And then 50, 60 years later, the astronauts more than once would call her from the space station. And to think about being up there and to hear her velvet voice that they grew up with, they're in the stars.
Very calming. Very.
Well, they also thought of her as she was their good luck charm.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a narrator for Playhouse 90. She was, Rawhide, Wagon Train, CBS's Appointment and Adventure with Adventure. Also the legal drama on NBC, Justice. She was a part of that as well. And on and on and on. Really extraordinary that with the body of work that she has left for all of us to enjoy. Even as time went on, she was still performing. In 91, she appeared as Miss Wiltrout, Michelle Tanner's kindergarten teacher on the TV sitcom Full House. She had a cameo in the 1998 film Lost in Space, based on the series. And also in 2002, she appeared in 2 episodes of The Drew Carey Show as Lewis's mother, Misty Kanitsky, and alongside somebody who is having a birthday, 97 years young, Marion Ross, who was a guest
Another
on
client,
our show as well. Yeah, wonderful guest on our show. Mom to Jim Mescamim, who's another talent, and played Drew's mother. Really fantastic, She voiced the role of Grandma Emma Fowler in Focus on the Family's The Last Chance Detectives audio cases as well. Starred as James Caan's mother in the episode of Las Vegas. Subsequently guest starred in episodes of Cold Case, Grey's Anatomy. In 2007, ABC's television film Holiday in Handcuffs, 2007, feature film Wesley as Susan Wesley, mother of the founder of Methodism, John Wesley. 2014, The Tesla Effect, filming that, a video game that combines live action footage with 3-dimensional graphics. Really amazing. Gets you all choked up, doesn't it?
So.
Just thinking about her, it is extraordinary. One of her favorite things to do. She was very big at supporting a group called the Bay Band of Barristers and the LA lawyers that help people with legal problems. They would raise money with concerts all of them were lawyers or judges or something, and they would raise money, and she would host those year after year after year.
The Gary Green, we met Gary Green at the Golden Mics. I introduced them. They locked horns, and June then hosted and was the star of that. We did it at Disney Hall and everything else. And like you said, Harlan, that was for a very good cause. And speaking of causes, if you get a chance, Google June Lockhart battles homophobia, 1970. Yeah. That is an extraordinary clip with Virginia Graham, and just that velvet voice when you see that panel and what she did in 1970 in black and white with her stardom, with her mom's stardom. It was quite extraordinary. She's like she's a towering intellectual. And,
also, and I mentioned in 1948, and Harlan mentioned the special Tony Award, outstanding performance by a newcomer, a category that no longer exists, for her role on Broadway for Love or Money. And she actually donated the Tony Award to the Smithsonian Institution in 2008 for display in their permanent entertainment archives for the National Museum of American History. That's a beautiful thing to have done as well, huh?
Yes. Can I say this too? I remember these things are coming back so much now. Like we're in the back of limos and stuff. And before we go into events, she go, darling, she said, now here's the smelling sauce. She said, here's this. If anything happens, just stick this up my nose. Pop called Junie. And she had such a wonderful thing about death. And I'll be honest, as I said to Larry Mantle here yesterday, is that it has helped to prepare me as a 69-year-old man. I have, as I'm sure you do, John, Kathy, and all of you have this peace about us because we knew this great frequency, and that frequency is even stronger now with us, and her audience too. But it's strong with us. But it's helped to prepare me, and she was ready. She said, "I don't want a big thing. I don't want a big son. I just want, it's." Yeah. She's prepared us all.
Was she at home?
Yes, with Junie and Christiana, and they were playing Rachmaninoff,
Leonard Bernstein, Willie Nelson,
Bernstein, Gershwin. That's how she left the earth on her musical frequency.
On a musical note, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So many shows too. She was on Beverly Hills 90210, Seventh Heaven, Step by Step, Roseanne, The Colony, The Critic, The Ren and Stimpy show, voicing that as well. She was in Babylon 5, The John Larroquette Show. Brings back all these memories. We know her for Lost in Space and Lassie and Petticoat Junction, but so many other shows through the years too. General Hospital, which Harlan had mentioned as well. Murder, She Wrote, and Falcon Crest. She was on an episode of Knots Landing as well, and Magnum PI, and Vegas, and Quincy, and Happy Days, and New Zoo Review. We just had them on our show too. It was fantastic. We grew up with that. Ellery Queen, Marcus Welby, of course, Family Affair, a couple of episodes of that, and the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Bewitched, Perry Mason.
Agent.
Yeah.
Who is her agent?
General Electric Theater.
When she did
working all the time.
Yeah.
When she did Bewitched, she was the father of Larry Mather's brother.
She was the
Yeah. Hallmark Hall of Fame, Dolly Madison. She played Dolly Madison. Ford Theater Hour, Amy March, Science Fiction Theater, The Joseph Cotton Show, The Kaiser Aluminum Hour, Have Gun Will Travel, Shirley Temple's Storybook.
I remember that.
If you read that, you're going to be reading forever.
Yes. You are so versatile.
Yeah, it's like the Gettysburg Address.
John was going to say something a moment ago.
Yeah, I was just going to say, June did not let the grass grow under her feet. No way.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She was really something special. We're talking about her career. We're talking about her accolades. We're talking about the marks she's leaving. But for each of you personally, tell us about why June Lockhart was special for you. Harlan, I'll start with you.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't.
Lyle, I'll start with you.
I think the intellectual And these last 3 days have just been, that frequency. There's something I wrote many years ago. I said it a thing, as and it can say it the best. This is from a music piece that I wrote. It's as we travel these glorious worlds and we exit from life to life, time to time, what we take with us, all we take with us, is each other. And she is so strong in that frequency. And it's what I learned, the intellect, the sisterhood, the palhood, the date, all of it. And then being able to feel to feel every part of her. And this is global. Thanks to you getting that out there, Harlan, and your millions of people listening to you right now, Jim. This is a global thing, and it's something beautiful to bring us together when we really, really need it. Personally, I've learned so much, and when I exit this earth, she will be one of the first people that I hope will be there to take my hand. That's the way I love to feel. That's if I feel it, it must be real. And darling, don't you miss the 70s.
The 70s were good. A lot of good music, a lot of good shows, everything. All right, Harlan, you're up.
I have no doubt that I've worked with every icon and legend I think I can imagine, and I feel them around me, and I feel very, very confident that she's an angel around me right now. Her presence never leaves. I have a favorite story. I met so many people through her, and they all just gravitated towards her. And I have a wonderful moment when we were at rehearsal for the big band of barristers. And it was up in Malibu, and it was at someone's home, and they were playing, just rehearsing. And June and I were sitting on the sofa, and she looked over to her left, and then she leaned over and whispered, "Is that Diane Keaton on the end of the sofa?" And I looked over and I said, "Yeah." And she leaned over and introduced herself, and apparently the door had been left open, and she was walking by and heard the music and just came in and joined us. And everyone just loved to talk to her. I don't know the word. I don't want to say oozed, that sounds bad, but she just oozed love and support and caring for everybody. And she loved to talk to everyone. And like Lyle said, she was a news junkie, always reading the New York Times and papers and magazines, and she just loved to learn. That image you just put up, I just got a notice, has been shared over 790 times.
That's fantastic. That is amazing. And
in the bottom there, she's presenting the Emmys at the Emmy Awards for the Daytime Emmy Awards. I forget the year. And that artwork you see there is done by Hansen, wonderful, wonderful artist.
Oh, Glenn
Hansen.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And it was one of the ones he created for the Smithsonian tribute, legendary ladies. So he was with us as a guest and showed us his amazing work. He's tremendous, absolutely. Beautiful memories, Harlan. Thank you for sharing. And I know it's personal and deep for our guests as well, because the loss is recent and profound. Kathy, how about you? How will you remember June, and why was she so special to you personally?
What she left me are just the fabulous memories. And as I said before, doing that Death Valley Days show, and she put me to a different level, and she enabled me to do Family Affair. And with, as Lyle has said, her special energy that she will, that will always be with me. And as I had said, I have my husband here, and he's opening and closing doors, and my sister, made the light go on. And I swear, yesterday there was June Lockhart energy in my house. And of course, she left Annie and June, and they're good friends of mine. And that was another wonderful contribution. So there's, of course, a little bit of June and June and June in July, no, and June and Annie. And they remain my good friends, especially Annie, who was working with the Screen Actors Guild. So in surmise, she left her beautiful energy. She left her fabulous memories. She left her beautiful children. And she is keeping my husband and my sister company in heaven.
Beautifully said, my friend. Absolutely beautifully said. And again, a big hug from the East Coast to you, a lovely hug, which we've given you many times before, but we'll give you an even tighter one. And from all the beautiful viewers who love you as well, Kathy. And Jon, yeah, I know for you, it's say hi to Lori for me. We love Lori.
Thank you.
Please,
It's
hard to share it, but I know she meant the world to you.
She did. She was my other mother. And yeah, I miss her as much as I do my real mom. So
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like a second mom, all those years, and you were blessed to have her with you, and you'll have her with you all your life.
Oh,
and you know what? You and she and everybody involved gifted us with your talent and with who you are, and we have all of you with all of us for all of these years.
And Jim, the love that we showed in our series on Lassie, that was real. I know she cared for me, cared about me, and the feeling was mutual and is.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Beautifully said. All of these heartfelt tributes, again, coming from the heart, everybody. A wonderful group of folks here. And, as somebody who didn't work with her, but works in the industry, and somebody who was always an admirer of her elegance, her poise, her class, her voice, her smile, all the things about her. And it's wonderful, too. And I know she had a fun side. She loved rock and roll. And of course, we talked about the beauty of curiosity with NASA. And as Harlan was saying, it could be a Gettysburg Address of accolades and things she's done. I think just the fact that what you're hearing to many people, and it's such a beautiful thing that you were able to join us here on the show, gang. But
Thank you.
You're hearing nothing but love and kindness and beautiful words about June Lockhart. You know what I mean? Everybody's saying some beautiful things about her. Whom they're posting things, they're sharing things in the news about her, and they're all saying how kind she was and empathetic and warm and funny and loving. And it's nice to hear that, because when the viewers and the people who also have followed her career and have consumed all of her art are hearing this, it's solidifying what they hope is the truth about somebody like a June Lockhart. And it's so nice that you guys have solidified it. And many others who've worked with her and who knew her personally are saying the same thing. You're just hearing beautiful things about the wonderful June Lockhart, which I think is really, really special, right? Especially, Lyle and Harlan, you work with so many people, you hear all kinds of different things about people, but you hear wonderful things about June, right?
Yes. Just love and joy and pure light and joy.
Absolutely. You guys are the best. I know you're very, very busy. You've got a lot going on, and I really appreciate that you're able to join us, at the last minute here. And we thank all of the wonderful folks who are commenting too. A lot of people from, New York and all over the country, Maryland. Hi, Pam. Good to see you as well. And Crystal is watching in Connecticut, and Kathleen's in New York City, and Maureen's in Arizona. And some of these are regular faithfuls here on our show, and Gary, Richard Collins Jr. sending love, and Susan as well. She's, just really, really beautiful and touching. And I thank each one of you for putting your phones on mute.
Except for me, mine dinged. I'm sorry.
and scrambling at the last minute like this, especially when it's still so raw and so emotional and so deep, and to take the time to care deeply so much about June, to want to share these memories, and to actually come on our show. Again, some of you have been here, Kathy and John, a number of times, and you're part of the Jim Master Show Lovity family. But Harlan, it's a blessing to have you here, and Lyle as well. And they say to all the guests, the porch light is always on for you. It was a wonderful blessing to have you here. And I truly hope you enjoyed the time with me, as I have with each of you, as we celebrate and honor June Lockhart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks,
Pleasure
Jim.
was all mine.
Pure joy.
Lyle, thank you for joining us. We'll do a one-by-one sort of a goodnight John Boy Waltons type of thing. Lyle, thank you for joining us. It was a blessing. Let's come back and see us, okay?
We'd be honored. Thank you.
All right, you be well. Harlan, thank you for taking time. I know you're one of the busiest guys in Hollywood. Thank you it's a real blessing, and I really honor the fact that you stopped by our show.
You've got a great group on. I love them all.
And we love you back, Harlan. Be well, my friend.
I will.
Kathy Garver. We love Kathy Garver. Next time we're in Valparaiso, let's try to coordinate. We'll be there the same week, and I'll treat you to lunch.
All right. I'm going to take you up on that. Thank you so much, Jim.
We love you, Kathy, and thank you for everything, and being so beautiful and open and authentic, and just Kathy as you are. We love having you here, and thank you for your beautiful words about June.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon, okay?
Hey, Kathy.
Absolutely, Kathy. And John, a blessing, and thank you very much. You were the first one that immediately said, I want to be a part of it. When, where, how, and you came in. And I know it's very raw and deep for you. So you're a good guy. You really are.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I'm kind of an emotional guy. I've always been that way, but that's
nothing
important.
wrong with that.
No, there's
stay that way.
A good cry is good. It helps. And who else better to share a tear over? So,
June Lockhart.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, my friend. You be well. And again, hi to Lori, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. An incredible group of talent here on our show as we celebrate June Lockhart. Really a blessing to all of us. And maybe you got a chance to learn some tidbits about this iconic Hollywood character, this amazing person, television, film, stage. And again, the accolades are so long, we could do a mini series about her life. But she really was somebody very, very special. And I wanted to find a way quickly to put something together and spend time with all of our viewers watching live. And we have a lot of comments. And as I mentioned, remember A Christmas Carol, of course, and Meet Me in St. Louis. And there she is with her folks. The gang talked a lot about her folks. And share your favorite June Lockhart memories. Maybe it is Lassie in all the years. But that iconic series, maybe it was some other shows that we didn't even talk about. Of course, Lost in Space. We had some nice words from a previous interview with Angela Cartwright, who was a guest on our show. Somebody mentioned earlier that they loved when she was on Petticoat Junction, of course. And everybody shared some very beautiful words. We thank Jon Provost, and we thank the wonderful Kathy Garver. There she is. And great stories about her being in Death Valley Days. Now you guys are going to look for all these episodes, right? You're going to want to see them. And when she played the teacher, we just saw this recently, when she played the teacher on Family Affair. And that wonderful, poignant moment where Johnny Whitaker was sort of in love with her and realized that she sort of resembled the mom that they had lost. Harlan, of course, with his wonderful photos and his wonderful memories. He's worked with them all. And he shared some beautiful memories, too, professionally and personally. They all did. And I think that was glorious, to have them do that. And let's take a look at some of our viewer comments, the folks who are here. Maureen, thank you very much. She's one of our big fans watching in Arizona. You did Jim proud with the episode. Oh, did June proud with the episode, Jim. Thank you very much. She's with us in spirit, Maureen. I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing these very special guests to Levity Hall. We call this Levity Hall, love, levity, and light together. It was such a wonderful conversation, and may the beautiful June Lockhart be resting in peace. Thank you, Maureen. And Kathleen's in New York City. She says, this was a very sweet and special tribute to June. Thank you, Jim. The pleasure is all mine. Paul, welcome to the show. Paul Perkins, you loved Lassie and enjoyed June. And John, your sympathy to all. Absolutely. Thank you for your words, Paul. And come see us again here on our Celebrity Talk Show series. Cullen Fields, he's in Philadelphia. And he's a big fan of television, and he loves the game show hosts and all of that, as well, as do I. June Lockhart, along with Rob Reiner, were the celebrity guests on the premiere week of the $10,000 Pyramid back in 1973. She was a great game player overall, too. And, on the internet, that's so good to remember that. And thank you, Cullen Fields. You can see her. There's episodes. She was on game shows. We just watched her, I think, on an episode of Match Game. Gene Rayburn and Company, Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley, Richard Dawson, and Password. I mean, she made the rounds on all the game shows as well, which was something. And all these beautiful comments pouring in here. Now, don't forget, comment below too. This will be archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Share the link with your friends and family. Bring back the memories, and also give us a like. We love that. A like, thumbs up lets us know you're enjoying what we're doing here at the Jim Masters Show. And also drop a comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and click the notification bell so you never miss any of our fabulous episodes. Merlin, watching in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Big night for you. I'm surprised you're still commenting. Toronto and the Dodgers. And I wonder who you were rooting for, being in Toronto. Many of you loved Kathy Garver, you love Jon Provost, and all of the folks that are here. Everybody's following everybody. Yes, Cullen Fields, I agree. June Lockhart is truly smiling from heaven. She is. And, just one of those people that we need to celebrate people more, right? It's a crazy time we're in, and I love celebrating people. If you guys know my professional work all these years in television and radio, but you followed, the last 5.5 years and counting, and 1,400 episodes of our series, folks, I love taking time to celebrate. And when it comes to somebody like June Lockhart, it was easy breezy to do. Continue to share your memories, folks, in the comments section here. We love having you all here. I do say to everybody, don't forget to take time for one another, love one another, and don't forget to take time for yourself. It's so important to do that and share that joy with the world. Gary Collins Jr. wanted to add here, June was a music enthusiast, and she even loved classic rock music. That's right. And that was what I learned from June. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, she was multi-talented, and she loved life. And we honor her on this episode of the show. Again, more comments coming in here. We thank everybody. This is Daryl Pruitt, who says, may her soul rest in peace. Thanks for the memories. You're very, very welcome, Daryl. It was a pleasure having you tuning in as well. Okay, gang. Pam sending hearts and love from Maryland, USA. Good stuff, gang. Come see us again. We'll keep the porch light on for you, as well as, again, one more time, we say our wonderful, well, not farewell. We don't want to say farewell. We'll see you again. Wonderful June Lockhart. She did good. She left her mark, and we are the better for it. star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, film, television, her parents as well. I mean, if you go to Hollywood, go look for it. It's right there. So many things that are June Lockhart in our lives that are just about everywhere. So continue to pour in the comments. We'll take a look. And we thank you very much for stopping by our series. It's a blessing to have you here. I am Jim Masters, thanking you for your time. This time, till next time on the Jim Masters Show. We'll keep the porch light on for you. Come see us again. We love having you here. Be well, everybody. Take care and cheers.